After we received the pre-diagnosis from the MRI, not from the MRI scan, my mom and I sat in the room after receiving the news that I could have cancer. And I was silent for a while, and my mom was silent for a little bit, and she finally spoke to me and said, "You know, I don't I don't believe that. We don't believe that report." And I told her, I said, surprisingly, I don't believe that either. I don't feel that. I don't feel that I have cancer. I just feel like that peace that was in the room with me was a divine no, a divine no to what we had just found out. So soon after, we had agreed that this was just not what was going on. The doctor came in and sat down with me kind of the same way, very sorrowful, and took my hand, and he was saying, "Yes, we did find a mass. It is not cancer, but it's a tumor. It's a benign tumor called a fibroid." Now, I didn't know much about fibroids at all when he was talking to me about it, but he basically explained to me, saying that it's a tumor that that was growing inside my uterus, the lining of my uterus, and my tumor must have had a growth spurt, and that's probably why I was in so much pain. I had to come to the hospital and things like that. He started to explain to me how fibroid tumors are very common, very prevalent with African American women. And after, again, talking to some of my female family members, they suspected that that's what was going on with them as well. So, to give a bit of information about what fibroids actually are, they are benign growths that can grow inside your uterus or the lining of your uterus. That is, again, very prevalent in African American women. Most women don't even know that they have them because they don't usually cause any issues. They're usually not large enough for women to understand or know that they're even inside them. The issues come in when they start having growth spurts, or they start becoming so large that they stretch the size of your uterus, and they could impede on a pregnancy, things like that. But most of the time, women don't even know that they're there. So the doctor told me that I would most likely not experience any problems with the tumors, that they wouldn't grow anymore. They just had a small growth spurt, and I would just be able to go on and live a normal life. We both found out later that we were very wrong. So, after the emergency room visit, I went home. I was feeling some kind of peace about even the news that I had just heard. I was instructed to go make a follow-up appointment with my gynecologist soon after. So I did just that, went to the follow-up appointment, more blood work was taken, and a series of ultrasounds and scans were happening at this appointment too. When the blood work came back, I found out that I was severely anemic. I had always struggled or been borderline anemic as a teenager, but at this point I was in full-blown iron deficiency anemia, and there were low levels of hemoglobin in my blood. And so that explained so much to me. It explained why I was always tired. It explained even why I was having such heavy flows on my cycles. When the scans were happening, the ultrasounds were happening, I remember the doctor telling me that there was not one tumor, but there were two tumors now. There were two tumors. So I'm in shock again. Not only did I just find out a few weeks ago that I had one tumor, but now I'm finding out that the second tumor was missed at the emergency room visit, and another one was hiding in the back. So it was all just very, very shocking to me and a bit overwhelming. And they started to explain to me how big they were and why they were causing so many problems. The first one they found, which was the one that was in the emergency room, was about 9 centimeters big, which is about the size of a baby's head. And the second one they found, which was further in the back, was about 7 centimeters, so a little bit smaller, but still causing issues nonetheless. At this follow-up appointment, it will be the start of perpetual follow-up appointments and medications to come. I didn't know what I was in for, but it was a long journey ahead of me, and this was just the very beginning. At this doctor's appointment, I also received a plethora of medications. I remember walking out of the doctor's office with 3 different medications. One for the excruciating pain or cramps that I had during my cycles. The other one was for my extremely low iron. And the third one was birth control. They wanted to put me on oral contraceptives to help control and regulate my cycle. So, for this portion of my story, my sharing point I want to leave with you is don't trust your fears. Always check and see what's going on in your body if something comes up. You know your body. You know your body well. You know your body the most. You know when something is off. Always, always go get it checked out. Even if you're fearful, even if you are in denial, even if you don't want to hear the results, go get yourself checked out. There's a scripture, one of my favorite scriptures, that is in 2 Timothy 1:7, and it says that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. And that scripture spoke volumes to me, especially in these times. And it helped me not to let fear dictate my choice to go get looked at, go get checked out. That also means to me, the sound mind means to me that we use wisdom. We have to use wisdom on going to get ourselves checked out, on how we take care of our bodies. And it makes the world of a difference when we use that wisdom that God has given us to take care of ourselves.